Oh, he had priority, so Shane doesn't even work. My game just crashed because of Blob. That's insane. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. So I have two Blob Thanos decks to show you guys today. The first one is the highest win rate Blob deck with over 500 games on Untapped. Coincidentally, it's also one of the decks that I showed you yesterday in my deck video. So if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Subscribe so you don't miss out on those kind of decks on day one. I've been having a blast with this deck all day. My win percentage is higher than what's currently on Untapped and what's currently showing right now. And the second deck that I'm going to go over, I'm just going to briefly go over it after all the gameplay. This is the main one for the video. That second deck has actually a higher win rate than this one, but it only has about 175 games played. So I've played it a little bit. It is fun. It has the ability to get a lot of power out there. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but it has some potential. So first, let's go over this deck. I will give you guys some replacements for Nico and Elsa if you don't have them, but essentially it's a control Thanos shell. The idea here is to play stones early and try to get to a time stone or Psylocke, play one of those on turn 3 so that on turn 4 you can drop your Professor X and lock down and win a lane by turn 4, and then use turns 5 and 6 to try to win one other lane. You won't have a whole lot of problem with that. With Devil Dino, with Alioth, with Blob, you have the ability to get a lot of power out very easily on those last 2 lanes. That's your main win condition. That's the main line that you're going to go for. But with Time Stone and with Psylocke, you have some other options. If you don't get the Professor X, you can play one of those on turn 4. So you can play one of your 6 drops on turn 5, and then another 6 drop on turn 6. Or of course, some utility or reactive cards like Shang-Chi, like Blue Marvel if you end up going wide. There are a lot of options with this deck. If you don't get the Time Stone Psylocke early, then obviously you're playing stones early. You're going to look to try to fill a lane with Elsa. You can buff Jeff and move him. You can buff Vision in that Elsa lane, move him, and then use Alioth and Blob in the last couple turns. Alioth and Blob work very well together. If you have priority and you need to win another lane, Alioth is perfect. It's just going to delete their cards. If you don't have priority, Blob is fantastic. A lot of the times Thanos is going to be left in your deck. The Vision is going to be left in your deck. So Blob is going to get 20 plus power, and it ends up being a lot of power. I think the biggest I got him so far is like 78 power. That was with the location that makes the 1/4 rocks. I don't remember what it's called, but Blob is a lot of fun. It has the ability to put a lot of power out. For the replacements, instead of Nico, you could probably just run Nebula. Nebula's fantastic to Professor X on. Lock down the lane and you get that extra +4 power to get Professor X on turn 4. Then turn 5 and 6, Nebula will get her buff. If you don't have Elsa, you can run Armor. Armor will screw with your Alioth plays a little bit. However, it is very good protection for Blob. So if you play Armor, you're probably just not going to Alioth in that lane, and then Blob is going to get you enough power to win it. Jeff is hard to replace. I know a lot of people ask me to replace him. You can just substitute another 2-drop. If you don't have Jeff, I would really try to save your resources to get him. He is probably the best 2-drop in the game. He's arguably the best card in the game. That's a big statement, so don't quote me. But he is a fantastic 2-drop. You slot him in a lot of decks outside of even stuff like this. I have also seen people play a similar deck, but instead of Vision, they play Taskmaster, with the idea being to Time Stone on 4, Blob on 5, and then Taskmaster on turn 6 to copy the Blob. You're going a little all in on the Blob, and without the Vision, it lessens the consistent power of Blob. Taskmaster is 0, so if that's one of the cards left in your deck, Blob is going to be considerably weaker. So I don't know if I would do it. I'll probably try it and mess around with it in the next couple days. I'm going to put some gameplay right after this. So here's some gameplay, and then I'm going to talk about the next deck very briefly at the end afterwards. If you try this deck, let me know how it works for you. Let me know what swaps or what card changes, what worked for you in the comments. I really want to hear about it, make these videos a little bit better. So yeah, gameplay. All right, Raft. Can we fill up Raft? Yes, but I don't think we're going to play Nico this turn. So let's wait. Probably Jeff, Time Stone, Nico, and then another 1-drop if we have it. We can get another stone here. That would be great. No other stone. But we can Nico into time stone. Isle of Silence kind of is not that great. So we might have to like vision into Professor X. Let's see, they go rock slide. If we Professor X raft now, Professor X into raft now. If they just Darkhawk, then we'll be okay with Blob. If they play anything else, we're not in great shape. But we do have like Goliath shenanigans. Just gonna do it. Hopefully it's a Darkhawk. Yep. It is a Darkhawk. So we have to go with the Blob play. So let's just get as much power as we can over there. So I guess vision. Vision would be the play. And then Blob deletes the Darkhawk. And if they Shang into Isle, then we're okay. They have to Shang something else. Maybe we go vision mid in case they commit that way. I like this. Oh, he had priority, so Shang doesn't even work. My game just crashed because of Blob. That's insane. Let's see if we can reconnect. This happened on mobile also earlier in the day. I hit Blob with just so much stuff in there with all these rocks, and it caused the game to crash. You guys can, there it is. Blob's at 26. We ended up losing raft. That's kind of nuts. Even with the, so Miss Marvel mid. So the vision move actually won that one. That's pretty nuts. I wish we would have won the Darkhawk lane because of Blob, but alas, we did not. Still a lot of power though. So I'm about it. That's fun.
Destiny will arrive.
That is a little loud. Okay. We do have Time Stone into Professor X, so that's fantastic. We're going to save Time Stone. Generally, I want to draw, but I don't think we can do that. I guess we'll play Power Stone into Gamma Lab. I guess maybe... Ooh. Do we want to get rid of the Elsa? Probably. And then I like Time Stone, Power Stone into Gamma Lab. And then maybe we can look to Professor X that lane. What's Nico do? Play your next card, give it +2 power. Does this work? I'm not sure if Nico is going to trigger still. So let's just play the Power Stone. Let's hold on to Nico, I think. I don't want to play into Machine World. So he goes Magic. That's fine. I think what we're going to do is we're going to Professor X into Limbo. And then we're going to fight for priority. And hopefully our Goliath can reveal Dark Dimension first. Other option here is to wait for turn 6, and then we have Reality Stone the Limbo away. It's a little bit tougher to do because if we play Professor X into Machine World, he can Professor X the Limbo. So I think we'll just lock this down now, and we'll go to a turn 7. Psylocke. I like the Reality Stone into Machine World. I guess we'll Soul Stone also. Man. I think we hold on to the Psylocke. I guess we can just play it left. We're not going to play it next turn for extra mana or anything. And I guess if we get priority, we're just going to Goliath into Asteroid. Question is, do we Goliath now? We might lose priority if we do. We do have Shang-Chi if you play something into Asteroid. So let's wait. Nico Jeff. This is tough. I think we will just Goliath now. And if you play something here... Alright, double Dino. Alright, so we'll Nico Dino. Hopefully that's enough to get priority, and then we can just win Dark Dimension. He's probably playing like a Hella Tribunal deck. And if it is, then we should be just fine here. Yeah. This is actually ridiculous. Oh, man. All right. I mean, a win's a win, right? Okay. Now, the deck, the second Thanos Blob deck that we're going to talk about is a Lockjaw, High Evo, Blob Thanos deck. It is a mishmash of all these things. It has worked well for me. I have not played a whole lot of games with it, I will say. It has a very good win percentage over 175 games. I think it's at like 65% win rate over 175 games. So it is good. How good it will be in the long run, I don't know. But it is also really fun. You're playing a lot of big cards so that you can get your blob as big as possible. And then you're playing Lockjaw to try to pull some of those big cards out. Obviously, the danger here is if you play Lockjaw and say you play Wasp on the turn 3 and that pulls out a blob, it's going to delete your deck. And unless you have the rest of the cards you need for the rest of the game in hand, you're in a little bit of trouble. But at its core, it's essentially a High Evo deck with the Lockjaw Thanos part thrown in to try to pull out some of those bigger cards. And then, of course, with the bigger cards with Infinite, your blob has the ability to get extremely big. But I really just wanted to show you guys this deck because it was interesting, it looked fun, and I wanted you guys to try it out. I'm going to have my bundle video out tomorrow, I guess, in 2 days for me as I'm filming this, but out tomorrow for you guys on Thursday. I'll have the bundle video talking about all the bundles for the week. So if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And as usual, if you love all things Marvel Snap, make sure you like and subscribe, the bell. I'll see you in the next one.